Welcome back to the Maelstrom, ladies and gentlemen. We have another Warhammer 40k battle report for you today. We're doing 2,000 points, and we are going to be playing Maelstrom of War from the rulebook. We're going to be playing Spoils of War. We're going to be playing table quarters for our deployment. So we have 6 objectives. We have one here by the pipeline, another on the opposite side by the crates, a third here in the center by the spare crates, 4th on the top by the wall, a 5th at the base of the hill, and our 6th is in the trench system down here. So we're playing 2,000 points, Thousand Sons versus Necrons. The Necrons will be in the top left corner of your screen, Thousand Sons in the bottom right. We will be back with the armies. Alright, first up we have the forces of the Necrons. Today we're going to be playing Dagon Dynasty. We have doubled down on our infantry for this approach. To start things off, we have a Catacomb Command Barge. He is going to be running with the Nightmare Shroud, Staff of Light, and a Gauss Cannon. He is joined in the heavy support slot by a Cryptek with a Chronometron. Moving over into the troops, we have 3 squads of 16 Necron warriors. Really bulked them up a bit to see how they can do in the bigger squads. And then they are going to be mirrored over here by 30 Immortals in 3 10-man squads with Gauss Blasters. Backing them up, we have a 6-man squad of Canoptic Wraiths with their standard war gear loadout. We have a Ghost Ark to try to help us keep these masses of warriors in the fight. And we have 3 heavy destroyers. Our Warlord trait, which is the Catacomb Command Barge, is the Warlord. Warlord trait will be Immortal Pride to try to keep these big squads in the fight if they start taking pretty massed casualties. Alright, so that is the Necron contribution. We will be back with the Thousand Sons.
Okay, so the Thousand Sons are organized into a battalion. The first HQ in the Warlord is an Exalted Sorcerer. His Warlord trait will be High Magister, and he is wearing the Helm of the Third Eye. The second HQ is Ahriman on his Disc of Zinch. Then in the Elite slot, I've got a squad of 5 Scarab Occult with a Hellfire Missile Rack. Then for troops, I have 2 squads of 10 Rubrics, and they each have a Rhino to ride in. And then I have 3 squads of 10 Zangors, one of which will be equipped with a Brayhorn. Then for fast attacks, I have a squad of 5 Spawn. And in heavy supports, I have a Predator Annihilator and 2 Forged Fiends with Hades autocannons.
Alright, you have seen the armies and you have seen the table. We will be back as we get stuck into the Maelstrom. Alright, deployment is complete. The Necrons did finish first. We deployed all of our warriors around the front here. We backed them up by the 3 Immortal squads here. And then we have the Cryptek here in the center. The Catacomb Command Barge swinging a little to the left flank. And then we have the Ghost Ark behind the infantry. We have the heavy destroyers behind them. And then keeping our backfield clear for the moment are the Wraiths, because we do have 1 squad that's coming through the webway. Josh, take it away. Tell us about these sons.
So I put 1 squad of 10 Rubrics in the webway, and I am deep striking the squad of 5 Terminators. I put the 2nd squad of Rubrics in their Rhino on the far side. Then my heavy supports lined up in cover or behind the advance. Ahriman standing in the middle, and the Warlord standing behind the building. Then along the front edge, I have 1 squad of Zangors out front. Then the Spawn up on the objective in the hilltop walls. I have a squad of 10 Zangors inside of the Rhino, and then I have a Brayhorn squad that is back here on foot. Alright,
so as of right now, the Necrons did finish first. They're going first, barring a seize from Ahriman, who seems to be pretty good at that. See if he can come up with a 6. A 4. He thought about it. Alright, so Necrons will be going first. We will be back once that initial Gauss wave has gone out. Necrons started things off by drawing Supremacy, Slaughter the Living, and Overwhelming Firepower. We started by moving our troops forward to claim the objective in the center of the table. These warriors spread out and advanced to come around here to be within 3 inches of the 2nd objective here. And the 3rd objective is here in the heart of our army. The Wraiths also moved forward to try to stay close enough to do a reactionary assault while also shielding from 1st turn locks against our backfield. Or 2nd turn locks, rather. The heavy destroyers jumped up high and took extermination protocols, and it did them no good at all. They fired down here. They hit once, even after, or hit twice after a reroll, wounded once after a reroll, and did 3 wounds. The warriors that had advanced luckily helped them out a little bit, made it look like they tried, so that rhino is down to 5 points now. The Catacomb Command Barge flew up here into the center of the army. It fired its Gauss cannon up to the top and was able to cut down one of the spawn. Another spawn was wounded twice by fire from the warriors, or the immortals here, that fired through. Sorry, no, that wasn't the immortals, was it? That was the warriors, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Warriors here fired up, some of them did. The 5 that were in range from this lead squad then fired at the Predator, wounded it 4 out of 5 times, and it took 3 points. So insanely good marksmanship there. We were also able to shoot, first we started with the advancing warriors. These warriors advanced to start opening up a flank here and trying to level out a battle line. When they did so, they were firing assault weapons, obviously, for Saltec. They were able to kill 1 Zangor. But that gave these guys methodical destruction, and the Immortals turned it on and just obliterated the rest of the Zangors. We just wanted to make sure that we did get that point because it was one of our points this turn for superior firepower. So we did end up scoring first blood for the Zangors. We scored a 2nd point for overwhelming firepower, a 3rd for slaughter the living, and supremacy gave us 3. So the Necrons are out to a pretty sizable lead, 6-0, but the Thousand Sons have not really lost much and are still very much in this. We will be back once they have drawn their cards and started off with turn 1. The Thousand Sons drew Area Denial, Secure Objective 1, and Power of the Cabal. Josh, talk us down your turn.
So we got the Zangors in the Rhino out and advanced them, and then moved Ahriman over his maximum distance and threw warp time on them so that we could get down onto Objective 1 to deny him the point and score us the point. And in hoping that in further turns we'll come up with the right, secure this objective number and get a further point to prevent a 4-point swing the other way.
Oh yeah.
We moved the spawn up in the middle and advanced the back squad of Zangors down along the side of the Rhino. Took a Demon Forge on the back Forge Fiend and combined both Forge Fiends shooting into the warriors up front and did a significant amount of damage to them. And then after we did the damage, we realized they're actually outside of the range of Immortal Pride, so he took an insane bravery to prevent having to roll a leadership check for that squad.
Yep.
We passed 5 powers on the turn. It would have been 6, but he denied prescience with Immortal Pride. Holy crap, I wish my denies could do what he's going to do. So that put us 2 points for Power of the Cabal instead of 3. That was a pretty big swing for the turn. The spawn tried to charge the squad that had been mangled, needed a 12, rolled a 6 and a 1. I burned a command point, rolled another 1, but the Helm of the Third Eye saved the burned command point at the very least. Yep.
So he is actually far-seeing this time. Also gained 1 back from Insane Bravery, so he did come back out 2 command points up. All right. Anything else? I think that was it, right? All right, so at this point we're looking at 6-3 going into turn 2. Necron Response coming up next. Alright, no giveaways this time. The Necrons are going to have to work for these. We have Secure Objective 2, Secure Objective 6, and Blood and Guts. Unfortunately, 2 and 6 are the 2 points in his deployment zone, so we're not going to be able to do much about that. We did advance to try to hurt his army as badly as possible this turn, just so we can get some draws and get some points back there. So we went ahead and moved these warriors up. We were able to get 3 back on their first roll, and then we moved the Ghost Ark over to get within 3 inches of them. Got 3 back on the second roll, so 3 remain down in that squad. The rest of the army kind of spread out. We moved 1 squad of Immortals back to kind of defend the backfield and keep stuff out of our lines as much as possible. We moved the heavy destroyers forward. We were able to get shots on the Predator with 2 of them. We used extermination protocols, and this time the download patch took. No crashes. System went through. We were able to destroy it with the 2 shots. We did have to burn a reroll on one of the damage rolls, but we were able to core the Predator. The third guy was insulted because I had him shoot at the Rhino for lack of any other target, and he decided to miss out of spot. So nothing happened there. The warriors took the command wave over here. They went into these Zangors and were able to shoot them down to 3 survivors. 1 more was knocked down by the immortals that advanced into the backfield. The Wraiths then advanced across the middle and took an adaptive subroutines. They will be charging the Zangor survivors here, and the warriors will be charging the 2 survivors here. In the middle, we fired the bulk of our force into the spawn. We were able to kill 3 of them and leave the last one at 2 wounds. And these warriors will be charging into that combat. We haven't rolled yet for these mortals, but they are going to attempt the charge as well. So we will be back after the assault phase. Alright, Necrons have finished up the assault phase. We were attempting the 3-unit wipeout to try to get D3 points because we were not going to score the secure objectives. He has to move to secure them in his turn, but it does essentially give him 5 objectives to score at. But we did want to go ahead and make him have to move and stick around on his objectives at least. We were unable to bring the spawn down though. We did him 1 wound. He killed 2 warriors in response. The Wraiths went into the 4 Zangors and made a bucket of KFC like we all knew was going to happen. And then over here, the warriors were able, with their command wave and all the other support they had from that, they were able to beat down those 2 Zangors and return towards the main part of the battle. Game's still just getting warmed up though. Thousand Sons are coming back for turn 2 next. Alright, Thousand Sons turn 2. They draw up the Wrath of Magnus, defend objective 5, and secure objective 5. Objective 5 is the one here in the corner. Josh, walk us down your turn, sir.
So, I moved the Rhino squad out to secure the objective, deep struck the secondary squad that was in the webway down on that objective to provide weight of numbers so that we can't be overrun with a single squad of warriors, just in case. And then they fired on everything in the trench line, managed to get 5 warriors. Hope for better, but when the 5s are on, the 5s are on. Wasn't too bad. The squad standing outside of cover also took Weaver of Fates from their brother squad there. The Forge Fiends combined to fire on the heavy destroyers and knocked 1 of them down and wounded 1 of them.
And Ahriman, the devious man himself.
Ahriman took a Chaos Familiar to swap Gift of Chaos for Death Hex.
Tricksy, tricksy.
And then threw Death Hex on the Wraiths and got it off on an 11. And then Ahriman and the Terminators, who took Vets of the Long War and Prescience, fired on the Wraiths, knocked 2 of them down outright, left 1 of them at 1 wound, and Ahriman then is going to charge them. We went ahead and rolled it out, and he got a 9, so he is in combat with them, and we're hoping that the Black Staff, with its flat 3 damage, is going to do some work there.
Oh, it'll do some work. The question is going to be, do I have any Wraiths left when it's over? So Thousand Sons are far from finished. Lots of points going to be going in the bank this turn. We're going to work this combat, and then we will be back. Alright, the Thousand Sons have wrapped up the assault phase.
So, slight miscalculation on Ahriman. I was counting on something that didn't actually come to pass. Ahriman, when he takes a disc, counts as cavalry. He's no longer infantry. He doesn't have access to Vets of the Long War. Ahriman apparently knew this, even though I didn't, because the stuff that didn't wound rolled 1s anyway.
But he did win me 3 times, and I rolled 2 of the 3 as 5 pluses. And that staff we were counting on whacking most of those Wraiths down killed the one that had 1 wound left. That was all it was able to do.
He did manage to survive the return stroke, which wasn't something I was expecting when 3 Wraiths survived, but Ahriman's there with 1 wound. The lone spawn took Fated Mutation to reroll the wound and splattered 5 warriors before the 2 survivors killed him. Worth it. I mean, one dead spawn to kill off 5 warriors. I think that was a fair trade.
Yeah, I don't even think I hit him. I think he just lacerated himself to death, cut all of his arteries, slicing up all that metal. Alright, so that's it, right? Okay. The Thousand Sons did pick up 3 points. That brings it back to what, 7-6, right? 7-6. It is still a game by a long shot. Necrons are coming back in turn 3. Necrons turn 3 is up to the assault phase. We went ahead and moved everything in this direction. After the last turn, something we forgot, I was thinking it was 12 inches for my Immortal Pride. I don't know why I was thinking that. But these 3 guys did need a morale. On a 5 or a 6, they would be wiped out, and I rolled a 6, wouldn't you know it. So they're gone. we got no chance to bring them back. So that did take some pressure off of him up center. However, for our objectives this turn, we have Area Denial, Secure Objective 1, and Kingslayer. So we did want to go ahead and get rid of his sorcerers, so the Wraiths fell back from Ahriman to try to take out the Helm of the Third Eye guy up here. The Warriors advanced moved forward while leaving one guy to babysit the objective, because that's the one we're trying to score. And then we needed to get rid of Ahriman and the Rhino. So we fired at the Rhino with the 3 heavy destroyers taking command wave, because we needed to make sure. We scored 3 hits, 1 damage, did the Rhino 2 wounds. However, the Warriors then came up hot, did it 8 or 9 wounds, and it went up in flames. Ahriman was then cut down by the Staff of Light from the Catacomb Command Barge. Command Barge also fired its Gauss Cannon downfield and killed 2 of the 5 Terminators in the backfield. We then swung over here. All of the Immortals in the back advanced. The lead squad did not have to. Cryptek advanced. And these Warriors, after reanimation, we had 1 guy who did not come back. They all fired in down here and did a number on the guys down here on the end. The Ghost Arc was the big contributor. It cut 5 rubrics down. It was ridiculous. We did fire the Immortals here to avoid Weaver of Fates, giving them that 3-up save against the Immortals, and the Immortals were able to kill off most of these guys. So going into the assault phase, we're going to be charging with these guys. They rolled a 9. They lost 1 guy on Overwatch, but they're locking the Rhino and this 3-man squad. And the Wraiths are going in here to try to claim Slay the Warlord. Alright, so we will be back after the Necron assault phase. Alright, the Necron assault phase rolls to an end. We piled in down here and were able to clobber down 1 of the Rubric Marines. They responded in turn by killing 4 of my Warriors. The Rubrics on the end here lost 1 guy to morale. The 2-man squad went ahead and burned 2 points to stay in the fight, so they are hanging out. Up here, we boloed miserably. We did 2 wounds to the Sorcerer. He made a 5 on one of them and was able to chop down 1 Wraith since Death Hex was still up. That does give him a spot to slip out of combat, which is unfortunate for those poor Wraiths, because they are probably going to get clobbered now. There's a lot of incoming fire down there. But the Thousand Suns did take a pretty good shellac in that turn. We're going to see what kind of objectives they can come up with. Necrons pulled out 2 points there. We got 1 for Area Denial in the center. We did roll a 1 on our D3. We scored 1 for Objective 1. We will be back with the Thousand Suns. Thousand Suns are going to start this one off with Defend Objective 5 still in hand, Hold the Line, and Vengeance Long Awaited are their new cards. Josh, walk us down your turn, sir.
Alright, so in the Psychic phase, the Exalted Sorcerer fell back. We burned a point for Chaos Familiar.
This is seeming awful familiar.
To swap Prescience out for Death Hex, threw Death Hex onto the Wraiths, and then threw a Demon Forge on one of our Forge Fiends, and the 2 Forge Fiends cleaned the Wraiths up.
Splat.
The Terminators then almost came up like MVPs for the freaking team and knocked 7 of the 8 wounds that the Catacomb Command Barge has out in 1 volley with no help.
Yeah.
It was very nearly the coolest thing to happen this entire game.
It's still pretty cool, but the Lord is now off of his advance. He's going to fall back and rethink what he's doing here.
The Rubrics down there, we fired a couple of pistols and a couple of smites and knocked down 2 warriors.
Yep, so we're getting ready to go into combat. We will be back once the blue men have finished their turn.
Okay, so close combat. The Rubrics survived the incoming attacks from the warriors. We managed to kill, I think, 4 grand total.
Yeah, 2 in the shooter, or 2 in the socket, 2 just now.
2 right now in the close combat, which leaves us holding that objective.
Yep, by 1 model.
By 1 model.
So you got to hold it 1 more time.
So going into his turn, he's got to commit something else to block that up, or we will secure defend objective 5.
And right now the Thousand Suns are behind by 1 point, right?
Yeah.
It is 9-8, so it has been a nail biter. We're going to see what the Necrons draw up here, and we will be back. Alright, the Necrons drew Defend Objective 5, which is this crazy madness in close combat we've been doing. Defend Objective 4 and priority orders received on Secure Objective 4. Unfortunately, for our close game, I think that's going to probably bring it over into the Necrons' lead, unless the Thousand Sons can bring something good out of the box. It's going to be pretty difficult to come back from that one, because the Lord was able to fall back onto this objective, so he's going to score 4 points for the Necrons right there. We went ahead and gave the heavy destroyers +1 to hit, and we went ahead and moved these warriors up. We moved the block of immortals up to start gradually pushing into his deployment zone and trying to kill off some of these last survivors. And then down here we were able to reanimate all but 4 of the guys from this squad. Between the Ghost Arc and the first reanimation, we brought all but 4 back. Nothing happened in the close combat, went ahead and rolled it out. So nothing's going on there. But through some crazy shooting from these immortals, we were able to bring this Forge Fiend down to 4 points. We were originally going to shoot the Terminators with the heavy destroyers. At that point, it was too juicy of a target to pass up. We went ahead and cored that out with the heavy destroyers. So that is it for the Necrons. We will be back in the bottom of 4 as the Thousand Sons respond. All right, Thousand Sons have finished up turn 4. Josh, walk us down your turn, sir.
We drew...
Oh yeah, defend 2, no prisoners, and defend 5. I forgot to show that.
We attempted a no prisoners run on an end around with warriors and heavy destroyers and just couldn't get lucky on either one of the rolls. We took a Vets of the Long War on the Terminators and just couldn't get enough conversion through on wounds. They rolled garbage on their wounds. And the combat down there,
you got 1 guy.
We got 1 warrior. Thousand Sons just can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag with directions anymore. Oh, and
Necron warriors are basically Laffy Taffy. If you can't get it done, you're just going to get stuck in them. So I think at that point, Thousand Sons are going to call it, right?
Yeah, final score should be 17-8 in favor of the Necrons.
Yeah, it kind of blew out there at the last second after running close forever, because the Necrons will score defend 5, because they do have more models here where we've continued to pile in resurrections. And we will also score defend 4 for over here. So very close game right down to the end. The Thousand Sons just kept hanging in there and pulling points back. But in the end, the Necrons are going to emerge on top. So that will be a Necrons victory. We'll have after action reviews and army lists at the blog as always. Be sure to give us a like on Facebook. That's the best way to see our new content as it comes out. And a subscription on YouTube means more than you know. You will also get all of our videos that way. You can set up to get notifications from us from there. As always, guys, thanks for spending time with us today at the Maelstrom.